And the next one is the social experiment. The Keizer Channel 23 social media experiment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to turn it over to Rex real quick here, but just sort of generally, it's becoming more and more the case that people are not receiving their news the way they used to receive their news.
Totally.
They're receiving it via social media, and as opposed to getting on a channel and watching an entire program, they're signing up for very specific things that they want pushed to them directly, and they watch it in small sound bites. One of the things that K23 was intended to do was to get our message out to the public. And I think we've done a really good job of that. I think it's time to take it to the next step and get it out to people in the way that they want to consume it, which is via small sound bites. And so this is our first attempt at that, and I'm going to have Rex tell you a little bit about what we're proposing, and the cost for this experiment would be about $4,900. We have the funding available in the PEG fund to do this. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rex.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Mayor Christopher, council, staff. I want to first just go back a little bit and say, over the last 12 years, I think the city of Keizer has done a great job, and you guys as leaders have done a great job of doing exactly what Chris just said, and that is communicating, opening the lines of communication to the city, because you can talk as much as you want in here, but if the community isn't hearing it and being a part of it, the communication is lapsing. And so your efforts to do a good job with our channel on Comcast Channel 23 initially, and then as the opportunity to expand that communication came about from internet video, we jumped on and we did KeizerTV.com, which has increased significantly the communication of what happens in here, what happens in other meetings, what happens in events, out to the community. And I think we've done a good job up until this point. Exactly like what Chris said, what I'm going to introduce here is David Dahle, and also over here is Diana Deltweiler. And what they're going to share with you is how we can take social media communication and improve our lines of communication, the next step, exactly what Chris said, taking it to the next level. And David will take it from here, and I'll chip in as I can. We're here under the company name, Keizer TV, and we're working together. I'm really excited to work with David together in this, and anything to improve the communication out to the city through the use of our great media here. So take it away, Dave.
Hello, thank you. Nice to meet Councilor Coe. I haven't met you yet, but many of you councilors I have met, and I have met you out in the community. So thank you for this time this evening, and you should have had in your council packets a little presentation about an example of this communication style. So
a little too much eggly in there.
Yeah, there's too much eggly here. But what we did in our discussion purposes, and we've met with Chris. Thank you very much, Chris, for his guidance in connecting me with Rex. And it's a wonderful collaboration. Both our passion to tell the great stories of Keizer. And so we followed his guide, and we've met with Chris a couple of times. And so we took one sample video so you can kind of see where it goes, because we can really kind of show you a bunch of content that's happening out there. But we just took just a simple execution of where the story is told in our community. And I just also want to say, there's been 2 Facebook posts in the middle of this meeting. Our dog, which was just in this room, was also shared on social media during this meeting, just so you know how pervasive stories get told in this community. So, and really, it's a relationship I'm excited to build with each of you city councilors, because you really are our community window for so many great stories in Keizer in the course of your days. And I really feel Rex and I are really here to execute on the great stories you guys see and hear. So tell us, there's a series of 7 stories every month for the next 2 months that we're at your disposal to say, go. Let's interview Ryan, and let's syndicate his little recap in 5 minutes. to 53,000 people who follow the social media in Keizer, over 200 Facebook pages. So it's quite a big audience who follow the social media. And so you'll notice here a new page we set up with Joe, which is a social media page just for his city council voice. Now, some of you have a friend page, and we're here to help you with that. But this page, because it's being used in this capacity, is to kind of cover a civic dialogue. There's no campaigning over this city council page. And so you're also going to have not only interviews, but also photo galleries. So we're going to take you through what we put on Joe's page as an interview with Joe. And we kind of took a topic about small business, because people kind of follow identities with how each of you relate to our community. And so we've taken a topic with Marlene about parks, and we'll talk about that overall. But let's just follow Joe's example here. So we created a page with Joe, and in 1 week we created 201 likes for that page. 1 week. And you'll see the analytics here, 3,279. Now, some pieces we promote, others we don't, but 3,218 people. And I just want to tell you a fun comment on here. Joe's own mother comments on his interview and says, "It's interesting what you learn from your son over social media." So that's the spirit. I know that, but that is really that just touches me from my core, because that's what's in Keizer. There are so many great people, but this format is so exciting because it allows our whole community to see this engagement. But we'll have other discussions in the community that are tough. And I think this is a great format where each of you in the channels of the past, you get an email, and that's a one-to-one communication, and 50 people have that question. And so you're busy people, you're volunteers, but if we could carry this discussion in a public format, we answer it for so many other people who have the same question, and it can really serve your time in connecting with the valuable information that we need as citizens. So going along here, you're going to see Joe's page is the interview that we did as an example, and then just kind of his page, we did a photo gallery of the Julius Caesar event. So we have upcoming events coming, and so what this sets up for each of you is a city council page. Beyond just the video, 7 stories you'd send us to share, I also have a whole inventory of stories I have in Keizer of great stories. For example, our previous dog that just lost his life, we interviewed him last year at Iris Festival with his officer. Great stories out there, and it's great that we also can connect with other things that are going to be coming in the future. So I'm going to be relying on you, and we'll all work with each of you about what stories you want on your wall, or what a photo gallery of, because you may not be able to make it, but I also love it that you can post as well. Laura, you're an amazing mayor. You post so many great stories where I learned so much about Keizer just following your page, so bravo. But I also want to take it to 200 pages and reach more than 53,000 versus the followers you have. I really want to share that reach that you have. But those of you who may be new to social media, we can see what stories in Keizer, whether it's my gosh, you know, I live in downtown Salem. I know everyone gets up here and says that, but I really probably spend more of my day in Keizer. my head might hit the pillow in the evening, but there's many great businesses that I work with in Keizer. So I want to show you an example also. We take these stories not only on Joe's Facebook page, but we have a number of businesses up in River Road that I work with their social media. So they've agreed to take these stories, whether it's an interview with a city councilor, and put them on their wall. And now we have businesses who are sharing your message about a topic that's valuable, and we have now this syndication of shared content. And I was born on a ranch in Eastern Oregon, and people would stop at the end of the day and ask, "How are you?" But when you guys comment on stuff in our community, it nurtures relationships. And when these businesses share content, they walk out and there's a different look across River Road, and it's exciting to see when you can build relationships through media. So that's an example. Even Greater Gubser, we have Kurt Schrader, who's been invited to our October meeting at the Greater Gubser Neighborhood Association. And so Brad Coy, I'm in charge with both of our city, neighborhood presidents, Brad Coy and then the West Keizer. I want to also do an interview every quarter with about the things that they're doing there. So that's an idea. So this, Joe's video, when you add up between these other Facebook pages, was on 5,700 walls in Keizer. And that's a pretty big reach for something that just hit the street weeks ago. And that's just, you know, where your PEG funds are about communicating with citizens. This is a true execution of that. And that's really where I'm excited, if this does go forward, that you're pioneering a new means of civic communications that's short form, that gets shared to where the people are. And this is an example of Rex's point of this is going to draw more audience views to our long form content. Because if we touch on a story about our light poles and then boom, they can cut to the long form discussion where this interaction just came place because there may be other folks who have an expertise or have the same questions. Make sense? So we're not going away from the long form. It's just giving us other content that's shareable, but we'll draw more energy to that.
You know, increasing the eyeballs of people that are interested in these subjects.
So here's a quick rundown. We did TED shows last month, and you'll see it's Joe's interview. We did an interview with Marlene. We interviewed Kathy about the update on Chemawa and actually shot right there in a ditch about 4 feet deep to show you how deep that collection area is. It's kind of interesting. There's a lot of method to that madness, and we'll have that here shortly. And then
I have not seen that one.
So
I
Julius
have not
Caesar?
seen Kathy in a ditch.
well, I was looking for a rendering from the public works so that we could incorporate kind of what the design was, because we just talk about those issues, but we just shot it end of last week. I didn't get it edited by today, so you will like it. She did very good. We had people honking at us on the street. It was
I
interesting.
bet, yeah.
We had bicyclers come through. Remember that? So, but we've interviewed Clint Holland with a video invite out to the summer concert series. Those have been fantastic. I've seen many of you city councilors out there, but those have been just a wonderful thing for our community. Johnny Limbo and the Lugnuts. We've got 3-minute video highlights, and Johnny said, please put it on public access. You're welcome to share that. So we actually have them singing and doing a few songs. And then Wayne Moreland was a Keizer citizen who received the Wright Brothers a Master Pilot Award for, I think it's 1,200 hours, 2,500 hours in the air. He was a state patrolman, but it's a great story of a Keizer citizen in our community. So our ask tonight is to do a 2-month experiment where we're going to take 7 stories per month. And you'll notice, here's an example, or I'll get down here.
Before you get to ask,
Okay.
can I pitch in a couple things here?
Sure.
So if you go back to the picture of you and Joe, right top there. One of the things that I just want to say about communication, when you see David here talking to Joe on camera, those videos have a little bit more news flavor to it because a person's talking to another person. What we've done up until this point has predominantly been capture moments. So if you, Mayor, are out there in the lobby talking about the art, we're capturing that moment and putting it on the channel. This form of communication is more personable and it attracts people in a more social media thing, like, wait a minute, why are they talking to Joe? Why is somebody interviewing Joe? You know what I mean?
Aren't you glad
And
you were
so that's what David brings to the table is excellent communication and drawing out what people want to hear about particular subjects. Each of you have subjects that you're working on in relation to the city, and you want to get this information out there. You want to get people involved. You want to be able
Breed
to
excitement.
improve that communication. Yes, build excitement. Exactly. And this is the channel to help that happen. So I just want to express that part of it.
Yeah, Dave, where were you today? We were going to do the mural.
Yes. Yes, we tried to get in late last week with Mayor Christopher on the new mural next to Keizer Florist. Have you seen that beautiful mural? So we're going to shoot a piece on art. But I also got the idea from Joe, and you'll be seeing going forward, I'll be emailing all of you, city staff as well. I want to acknowledge our city staff who get acknowledged. I think, didn't we get like a health award for activity that I thought that was, you directed me to someone in the city.
Michelle DePina.
To connect those stories as well. Not only, citizens, but I love to showcase the successes of our Keizer City as well in this format. Does that make sense?
Well, and I think social media too, I mean, even Craig would tell you, we have a weekly newspaper, but they've been able to be a daily newspaper because they take right to Facebook. If something's going on, they're right there. So I think that really builds, you can really see the value of that.
Well, one of the stories, I'm excited to interview Lyndon as an invite out to Riverfest, but I got to hear what it was like to be River Fair, but I got to hear his experience of being Caesar. I thought he did an amazing job.
He's great.
And I think that's I'm excited to talk to him also.
Publis.
That as well. I just think that's a neat
Come
story
on
in our
down to
community
the
still. And like I say, we have both male and female interviews of actors and actresses of Julius Caesar as well. It's a great recap if you missed it as well.
Great.
So that's the type of stuff that will be going forward. So the details, what our ask is here is 7 stories. And of the existing amount that you're currently spending for the current long-form content, Rex is offered to subsidize our production costs for the next 2 months to show kind of a meeting of the grounds so that we can come back in 60 days, look at the results, look at the feedback, and then from there, I think, step forward for a longer-term working relationship.
So, so what you've asked for is PEG fees, which is public, educational, and governmental fees that we all pay as cable television watchers. We all pay those fees. They're dedicated funds. We can't use them for anything else but public, education, and governmental. So those are the types of fees that come in annually. We get 100,000? Roughly $100,000 a year to spend. So what you're proposing is, I'm just saying this for the folks on TV.
Sure.
So what you're saying is, can we spend approximately $4,900, did you say?
For the next 2 months.
$4,900 for the next 2 months with our social media experiment to see how much more we can increase talking with our own citizens for money that they're already paying in their video bill that are dedicated funds that we couldn't spend anywhere else. Correct?
Correct.
Great. Okay. So,
And also, I want to reiterate, that's $24.50 per month for the next 2 months, okay? And we already produced 10 videos to kind of get things going and to get you guys into the mode of what's happening. You can all view those videos that we've already produced on our own dime. For the next 2 months, the $24.50 per month is the 7 videos at $3.50 a piece, okay? But if you decide to move ahead and make this part of our monthly deal, you know what I mean, then we would produce 7 videos, not for $24.50 a month, but for the what it says here, the $17.50 per month, because I'm willing to reduce kind of the overall cost of production, so that it's down to the $2.50 per video instead of $3.50.
okay.
So
Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, the first 2 months, yeah, $49.50 total, and then moving forward, we can come back to you in October, first meeting in October, and talk to you. How do you think it went?
That sounds great. Let's see if we've got any questions. Councilor Clark.
One question would be on soliciting ideas, not only from us, but from members of the community. Is there going to be a way for folks, if they have an idea for a story, do you want them to contact us and then get it to you, or do you want to have an email where they can send those ideas to you?
We can add a button on Keizer TV, but I would just also, we're at your disposal to, if you hear it, just text us as well. Does it make sense? We'll have a button, I think that'll be easy.
Message him on
but-
Facebook. He gets back real fast.
Yeah, he does. It's just if folks have ideas, and they know how to get a hold of us, through our emails. It's all on the city webpage and so forth. But we want a conduit, so if folks have good ideas, we want to get them out there.
Well, and we'll probably produce a piece saying, if you have a great story, let us know, and we'll share that on all your walls as well as this new collaboration comes open, and just give them paint by numbers on what to do. Because the goal of this is the goal of this hopefully is to ease your lives of communicating and not add
Oh, yes,
more.
it's so burdensome to communicate.
Well, we want to delegate, I guess, is what we wanted to do.
How about expand and enhance?
Expand.
Expand and enhance.
Master wordsmith, Lori. Mary Christopher.
Councilor Coho.
I don't want this issue to get in the way of, I don't want the issue that I'm about to raise to get in the way of this issue.
You're going to pour water on something?
Just a little bit. So maybe half of the people, half of the households would be paying for this in Keizer, just those with Comcast cable. And I think we ought to find a way, if we go forward long-term, and I hope that we do, I hope this is as successful as I suspect it will be, and find a way to have this shared by everyone rather than just a particular half.
Okay. City Manager Epley.
For me, what this means, we here at the city do a lot of things really well. One of the things that we do not do very well is tell our own story. And democracy is a participation sport. So in order for us to participate in that sport, we have to be having a dialogue with our customers, and we have to do it in such a way as it's reaching them in the way they want to be reached. And this does that for us, or at least it goes a long way toward it. And it's something I think that we, as government, not just here, but everywhere, really need to work better at, is telling our story, communicating with our folks, because ultimately we're working for the citizens. And if we're not listening or hearing, and they're not hearing our message, then it's hard to have a dialogue. So.
Yeah, I tell you, I go back to the experience I just had recently, and I get a lot of positive stuff on my Facebook page, and I've got 700 or something people who, if they want to tell me anything, they're going to tell me right now. So one of those incidents was the poison oak tree down at Keizer Little League. I was in Anchorage, Alaska on business, and it blew up. And I could see that immediately from my Facebook page. There were 17 shares on one of the moms who had called in and said, I can't get any help for another mom who had gotten into this poison oak. I mean, it went crazy. And so I was able to call our city manager and our public works director, and we were going to wait. And I said, there's no waiting. There's no waiting on this. It can't wait. We have so many concerned citizens, and it's just spiraling. But that tells you how quickly and how powerful that social media is, because it spreads so quickly, positively as well. I mean, the post I did about Axel, when they had to put Axel down, just touching. And I mean, some of those would, make your eyes tear up, because people really wanted to share how they felt about police animals and the value that police animals bring to the force and how they save lives. That was really a wonderful, positive experience. So if we can spread that out and if you've got 7 people all telling that story and it's spreading out to 37,000 people, you don't have to do better than that, Dave. Just 37,000 would be fine.
I got my
Councilor
marching
Egley,
orders.
did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to echo both of your comments. I think about 3 years ago we had some flooding issues, and one of the best ways that we could communicate immediately on where to get sandbags, needing volunteers at certain areas was all through Facebook. And if I would have had this, I would have had access to a few more people, and those people would have had access, and we could have informed our
Love to
community.
have had it in '96.
Right? And I would tell you too, Dave, if this social experiment goes well, I would like to, connect you with League of Oregon Cities too, because I've been trying to share. I've got a lot of mayors that look at my page, but I'd like, there's some of the mayors are older and they're not as comfortable with technology as others are. But you can always start. You don't. If you're not an early adapter, you can at least be an adapter. And so, if we can get that message out, I think this will be a really good thing. I'll share with them. I'm just going to the Oregon Mayors Association, the annual conference Thursday. So I'll let them know about our little social media experiment. If it goes well, then you might have an opportunity with 252 cities in Oregon.
Oh, crazy. Well, and that's the spirit of this, is to be cutting edge. I accommodate you if you decide to go forward, that this is really cutting edge for civic communications, and Rex and I know are honored
Well,
to be
that's so us.
part of the collaboration. It's a team effort.
Totally. So you need from us, Shannon, a motion?
Yes, I think it's in. I believe it's in Chris's staff
Okay.
report.
Councilor Egley.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the Keizer City Council direct staff to prepare the appropriate budget amendment to allocate pay contingency funds for the K-23 project.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we